Yo, what is up, my little tubers? We're back for some more drafting here on Arena. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. We got some more regular Phyrexia All Will Be One. Like I mentioned in a few other videos, I am just trying to get 100 drafts of this format done because I will be doing an overall comprehensive set review after all is said and done with Circovits from 17 lands. So I'm on draft number 84. This is 85, I guess. Anyways, what do we got? We opened an unplayable Mycosynth rare. All three of these uncommons are solid enough. And then the commons kind of drop off pretty dramatically. I'd say the best pick here is probably the Golem. It can go into multiple decks as opposed to the Stand and the Skull Dweller, which obviously you have to play either green or black for those. Golem is just good in a deck with some decent number of oil synergies. So let's go with that, see if we can get some good ones passed to us to follow that up. Okay, a couple of oil synergy cards, though I'm not sure we should be taking them here. Like the Churning Reservoir. I have not found this card to be particularly good. It's just really slow. It can be valuable, but generally I don't think you're supposed to take it very early. Oil Gorger Troll is another really good one for the oil decks, but again, don't think that's what we want to be taking here. I think the two cards that are probably the best here are honestly the two drops in white, the Mandible Justiciar or the Incisor Glider. It feels weird, but you need to get early pressure or just early board presence in the format, and those two are both pretty good at doing that. I kind of like leaning towards the Glider more, but I'm pretty happy with the Justiciar. The nice thing about both of these is that they also go into multiple decks. You don't have to be an artifact deck or a poison deck for these cards to be worthwhile. It's a weird second pick, but that was just not a very good second pack. So we basically have the same exact choices here. There's another Mandible, there's another Troll, a couple of other playables, but really nothing good. Even another Reservoir in this pack. You've seen the Mycosynth and the Apparatus now. Lots of bad ones. Yeah, I mean, one Mandible followed up by another is a decent start, even though, again, you don't want to be taking those super early necessarily. Man, another really, really hard drop-off in what we want to be seeing. I used to take the Skitterling super high, but I don't do that anymore. I do think it is at its best in, like, the black-white poison deck, because you're normally producing a lot of mites there, but sheesh. These packs have been super dry. Head Cleaver's like fine. Molten Rebuke is okay. 2 sack lands, but again, nothing that you want to be taking this early. Like, I will take the Skitterling here and just be very, very ready to cut it. Give no second thought to just cutting it. A couple more choices here now. The Immobilizer with the double Mandible is quite strong. Another Troll in this pack. There's an Axiom Engraver. Fantastic 2-drop for red. And then, of course, that hybrid. I mean, blue-white is heavily underdrafted in this format. While I think the Engraver is in a better color, it's very possible that blue is the correct way to go, and I'm glad I took the Immobilizer now, because we're getting rewarded with the best blue uncommon in the format. A lot of times you'll just go 2-drop Artifact into Retrofitter and just apply way too much pressure to your opponent. So, looks like we're probably going to lean towards this direction. Charge of the Mites would be good here. It's really good with the Mandibles because you can make the 2 Mites for double triggers. Prowler's decent, Rabble's good, Predation's fine. Easy choices here for us. And yeah, another really, really good one to have following that Retrofitter. The dream is to go turn 2 Malkator's Watcher into turn 3 Retrofitter, and it's a 4/4 Flying Vigilance attacking on turn 3, so we'll do it again. I like the Lookout too, don't get me wrong. Maybe it's better to take the first Lookout over the second Watcher. I do like the Die's ability on this, but the extra 1 toughness is frequently relevant. Gitaxian Raptor, I think, is the best blue common. So seeing that come back around is nice. I don't need to take Vivisurgeon's Insight very highly. Sure, and look at that. We're getting another decent blue common here. The only problem with the Raptor is that it doesn't really have synergy with the blue-white artifact deck. It's just a good standalone card, you know? I mean, hell, there's a world where I still play the Golem here just because it's a 3-mana artifact creature, even if it doesn't have much synergy with what we're doing. One of the cards we'll be on the lookout for, and if it's opened, we'll probably see, is the Cephalopod Sentry, the blue-white uncommon. That's one of the most passed multicolored cards in the format, if not the #1 most passed multicolored card. So it's really good, and if you're in blue-white, you obviously want to get those. Let's just cut off the blue. There is a world where I would play Custodian. It is a 3-mana artifact, but generally it's better left to the board. Yeah, once again, just cut off some more of the blue stuff. And last pick, Chrome Prowler. Beautiful. Not the card you want to see when you're going blue-white artifacts, or what would appear to be blue-white artifacts. You could take this. I don't think it would be bad. Like, I only have 3 white cards right now, but my blue really wants to be artifact themed. So this is not going to be highly synergistic. It would just be a good standalone card. Same thing with like the Vorak. We're looking at Shepherd here. We're looking at Charge of Mites. I think the Shepherd probably takes it. I'm expecting the Flesh Cutter to wheel. And the Flesh Cutter is surprisingly strong with all the small flyers that you get in the artifact deck. Plus, it's really good with Justiciars, right? You make the Mite in combat, so the Justiciar grows in combat. Pretty good. All right, we're getting past an Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. Very nice one to follow up the Basilica Shepherd. 4/7 Vigilance for 5. This is generally not going to die in combat. 7 Toughness is insane. And then, yeah, the extra ability of the triggers. So what does this do? If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, for example, Chrome Prowler would trigger twice. Mandible Justiciar triggers twice. Retrofitter triggers twice. Shepherd triggers twice. This is just a good card by itself, and then already fantastic in our deck. And now we're getting insane pickups. Look at this. Malcator, the artifact, rare. Ossification, insane 2-mana removal. Another Justiciar. This is really weird. I think the Ossification might be better than Malcator. I wouldn't expect the Malcator to wheel because it's a rare, but Ossification is one of the best removal spells in this format, so weird, but I'm going to do that. Let's take the Glider here. I have not liked the Blister Zoa. 2-mana artifact flyer is great. All right, another Ossification. I mean, our deck's going to be nuts. Already is nuts, I should say. Dune Mover we would probably play. Vanish is alright. Another Mandible Justiciar. Yeah. So there will be awkward games where the Justiciars having 1 toughness can kind of hurt us, but given what we have, I mean, this is just an amazing start. I don't like the Escape to Experiment all that much, and we already have quite a few other 2-drops, so it's not like I need this. But the Strider is just okay, I think. I don't mind it, but oftentimes it's like the very last card that would make my deck. And another Watcher, sure. Yeah, our deck's amazing. Our deck is absolutely amazing. There's the Charge of Mites on the wheel, great. I don't remember what pack the Flesh Cutter was in, maybe it might be next. But with 3 Justiciars especially, making 2 artifacts at instant speed is really just a combat trick in addition to everything else. Plus, again, Elesh... Oh, wait, no. This doesn't double. This doesn't double the number of tokens that you get. But yeah. I dislike Eye of Malcator, but it is correct in this deck, I guess. Or this is the right deck for it, I should say. I don't remember what pick the Malcator was in. I suppose it's unlikely to get it back. Might run the Spell Bomb. It's just a cheap artifact to trigger some of our stuff, and if not using it for the pump, we can always just cycle it away. It's good with the Lifelinkers. Hell, there's a world where I might just cut Raptor. And just go for full synergy artifact plan. Another Skull Bomb. We're not going to be running 2. So the best cards to open are like Emperor and Twilights, but I this is a really poor pack for us. I don't think we want any of these white or blue cards. There is a small chance I would splash War Whip here. I'm going to take it, but I'm assuming it's not going to make the deck. Could also just take the Kaya for the gems. If this was a Mythic and worth 40 gems, maybe I take it. But this has a small chance of making the deck, so I'll take it instead. Alrighty. Spell Dancer is a 2/1 unblockable in our deck. Does it do anything else? Not particularly. In fact, I have I have 1 instant, no sorceries. So 2/1 unblockable for 2. It's a good card. It eats a removal spell generally. We're losing out on a Chrome Prowler, which we got one of these last pick, so this could wheel. And an Immobilizer, which would be good. But I'm okay with the 2/1 unblockable for 2. Another Retrofitter is beautiful here. This is a card I could try to wheel. There's a Planar Disruption I'm also interested in. In fact, I'm interested in all 4 of these cards up here. The 2 cheap flyers, the Retrofitter, and the Disruption. Power level wise, it might be Retrofitter, but what's my removal again? I have 2 Ossifications, a Dose, and an Immobilizer. I probably don't need the removal that badly. I guess I don't want to take the chance that it doesn't come back because Retrofitter is so good. So Glider versus Chronicler. Chronicler is a 2-mana 3/1 artifact. Glider is a 1/3 flying. Yeah, I guess the Glider's not super great in our deck. It's just a good blocker, but we don't really have much to go along with it. Alright, that's our 4th Mandible Justiciar. Passing a Helm. I don't think we'd run Rib Skiff. Dune Mover is okay. Dune Mover would be playable if we didn't have enough early game plays. Holy crap, what is a pick 6 Myglaws? I'm happy to take Serum Snare here, but yikes, that is terrifying. And a Slash, too. Unlikely to run another Skull Bomb. Unlikely to run... I mean, the Enforcer's okay. It's going to be a 4/4 Vigilance for 4 in our deck. And then, yeah, from here on out, I would not expect to get anything. Well, red looks very open. I mean... Sheesh. But clearly the artifact deck was open too, right? So I think we can end up cutting the Glider at this point. There's the cat on the wheel. Probably can cut one of these Skull Bombs. Think we'll keep the blue one for tempo. What does that leave our artifact count at? 13 artifact cards. And then this makes an artifact. This makes an artifact. So like 15-ish plus artifacts. 16 lands should be good enough here. Curve is pretty low. Really, we only need to get to 3, I guess. Although, getting to 4 to go double 2-drop is frequently going to be something we want to have happen, but I think 16's fine here. And even though we have some double white, double blue, I think we're just okay going 8 of each. Quick deck build, looks good. 16 creatures. Gosh, why do I want to cut this Enforcer and just run a random flyer? I just want to throw that Incisor Glider back in. Wish we had gotten that Flesh Cutter with all these creatures we have. Or maybe even running the Spell Bomb here. Let's do that. Good little blue-white deck, it looks like. And, yeah. Hope to rattle off some wins with this one. We did hit Mythic earlier today on stream. Entered at number 8, went as low as number 3. Looks like I'm number 5 right now. Great hand. Much better on the play, but what isn't in this format? So remember, with Elesh Norn, artifacts triggering our Mandible Justiciar will give +2/+2 instead. Oh, and the opponent's doing nothing. Okay, that's really bad for them. I mean, they were on the play, yes, but not developing out the board in this format is so bad. Like, now we might just run them over. Immobilizer next turn, tap a blocker, hit them for 4. Yeah. They are in a really bad spot. Next turn we can go Prowler plus Ossification if we want to. Or we can just slam the Elesh Norn and say, can you deal with this if you can't? Is this any permanent? Oh my gosh. With Elesh Norn, the Ossifications exile 2 creatures. That is... yikes. I'm not blocking here. Even though trading that for Watcher is great, it's not what we want to do. We have a nice life buffer from the Justiciar. I'm okay with that. Okay. If Elesh Norn lives, it's going to be hard to lose. Sure. I am okay with that play. Oh, Basilica Shepherd for double trigger. I'm still going to tap down the Bearer here and play it safe. Alright, that's 4 2/2s. Or, sorry, 4 1/1s. So the only thing we have to be worried about is, like, planes into Wanderer or Twilight. Yeah, I mean, our curve was nasty, and they didn't develop out to the board for the first couple of turns, so we were just able to apply way too much pressure. 1-0. Game 2. I have 8 islands in the deck, and I'm on the draw. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and risk this hand. Obviously, we might just fizzle out, but... let's draw a blue source by turn 3, and all will be right. Red-green is not the color pairing we want to see when we have Justiciars, because they have a lot of just easy, free ways to deal 1 damage. Yep. I saw that coming. Keep a hand with 3 planes and draw 4th planes. If they have like a Mantis here or something. Oh, Rabble. Okay. So I think I need to get greedy and not block the 3-1. Hope that we draw an island. At least that allows us to get 3 life back, even though it wasn't the card we wanted. I mean, if they have like a Hazardous Blast here, if they have the Ravager here, I guess they can't cast Ravager yet, but I am happy to trade that off. Wow, Island and we might be okay. Well, that's magic, baby. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I go to 1. Block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I think I just take it and hope I draw an island. Still very dead, but... good beats. Man. Oof. We dropped to 9, too. That game seems very easy if we hit that island, though. Because they didn't have anything but creatures, so turning our Mandible into a 4/4 lifelinker on turn 3 seems like it would have just won. Given what they drew. Yeah, I'd keep that hand again. Calculated risk. Sometimes it doesn't get there. GG's. So 1-1 and on to game 3. Sorry, yeah, game 3. Once again, we have lost the roll, but our hand is good. I mean, what? We have 4 mandibles in our deck, so having one of them in our opening hand is not very unlikely. I'm okay not drawing any more islands or lands. I'm okay not drawing any more lands now, please. Oh no. Previous game screw. If we flood out this game, that's going to be really unfortunate. Looks like we might be on a mirror match. Double topsies! That's good. This is going to be really hard for them to race with the Eye of Malkator, and we can easily press with the 2 cards we have in our hand, so... So Transplant Theorist, they attack for 4. We get to just attack with both mandibles, and then if they block with Theorist, we charge, make 2 1/1s. Too much land. But, I mean, back to 27. Yeah, their Eye of Malkator is just so bad in these kind of situations. Yeah, like, we are still just heavily crushing. Hit for 5, gain back 3, Chrome Prowler end of turn into Tamio's Immobilizer, GG. We do not care if they make a bunch of mites, that doesn't do anything. Alright, easy game. That was a beating. I ended the game at 32 life. Yeah, these games just play themselves. There's, I mean... Obviously you still have to sequence correctly and whatnot, but... Let's see if we can win a die roll this time. We did win the die roll, except our hand doesn't have a white source. This hand would be nuts if we had 1 white. Are you kidding? So I could keep this and hope that we draw a land. Ugh. Gotta say, our draws have not been very kind to us today. Alright, let's keep it. I'm gonna keep the Mandible, and I'm actually gonna pitch the Chronicler here. I'm gonna keep the Immobilizer too. Touche. All right, phew. We did hit the land on time. Another mirror match of sorts, maybe? I'm pretty happy blocking their ambassador if they attack this turn. Oh, aggro tap. Okay. Well, let's try to find a plains. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. Yep, I like the bounce of the Watcher. I think I'm okay to just keep racing. Sure. Obviously, we can't win if we don't draw land here, and even if we do hit the land, unlikely to work out, friends. Okay, well, a couple of non-games here for our only losses. Unfortunate mulligan in one, and then we got color screwed in the other. I think our deck's really good, so let's just not run into some variance. I don't think we're supposed to keep the opening 7. I mean, it's possible I'm supposed to mulligan that 6-card hand, but I think it's correct to keep that instead of going to 5. Certainly it's a snap keep on the draw, so it's close on the play. Okay, well, that's Magic, baby. Good decks can lose. Game 5. I see plains, I see islands. That will be a keeper. I am not going to play the Spell Bomb or Skull Bomb turn 1, as we're going to hold it for a trigger of our Mandible. Man, how many mirror matches have we played now, too? Jeez. Crazy. Sure, that's fine. I guess now we'll go ahead and run out the bomb. I think I like bouncing my Justiciar back to my hand. Oh yeah, now I really like it. We go Mandible into Mandible. Next turn, Shepherd turns those into 4/3 lifelinkers. I'm going to take 7 here. That's okay. Not attacking with Enforcer there is very strange, but I'll take it. I'm not sure what just happened, but I like it. 23 to 21 now. And a pass. All right, lovely. Let's get aggro then. Let's go ahead and ossify their Justiciar. Attack for 7 and hold up Charge of Mites for 4. I don't think we actually want to kill that, do we? We can just race it. Let's make 1/1s here. Because with the immobilizer in our hand, I think it's just too good to push pressure. Yeah, this is brutal. Not really a wrong way to go about this. I think in case they have a Chrome Prowler, I'm supposed to Skull Bomb one of my tokens instead. Yep. So they go to 1, they go to 8 poison. I mean, this is just us drawing far more spells than they did. We take it. Our deck's great. Our draw was great there. 3, 2, we go. On to 6. Hey, finally we have some retrofitter action, but our hand is really poor. I don't have one of my many 1 or 2 drops. Yeah, I think this is a mulligan. The turn 2 ossification, or rather the ossification in hand is nice, but I think we need to go down, and this is just a much better hand. This is one where pitching a land is absolutely fine. This hand functions off of 2 lands, oddly. Again, I think it's probably best not to run out the Skull Bomb. I'm going to lead on the Spell Dancer here, since the Justiciar in this particular hand is not likely to connect very well. It might attack into a 3/3, but that's a nice draw. I was a, interestingly enough, really solid draw there. Scries us into some lands, and we haven't run out our early artifacts, so it's going to start attacking as a 4/4 next turn. Also, we want to hit a 4th land, so that I can go Mandible plus Serum Snare potentially. Ooh, that's brutal. Okay, I will keep the ossification. It's fine. So Skull Bomb here, trigger. I don't even want to give them the option to trade. With the Spell Dancer, we can bounce 2 permanents next turn to really set them back a bit. That's pretty good too. But I think correct thing here is to draw. And now Mandible, trigger the Malcator, hit him for 6. Keep the race going. Next turn we can retrofitter the Justiciar. We might not even use the Serum Snare with double bounce. We might even just play it out for -1 blocker here. Ooh, they are getting aggro, and I love it. Land here is clutch. Nice. So well, actually, yeah, I guess this is right. It doesn't trigger the eye, but to kill the Mandible, they have to double block. Alright, now let's use the Spell Dancer for sure. Let's bounce the Golem. And probably... yeah, let's just bounce both creatures that they played last turn. Our Mandible attacks us 6/6 next turn. We trigger the Eye next turn. Our Spelldancer's still hitting them for unblockable. What can you do? I mean, they have 6 cards in their hand. It's not like anything's a guarantee here. I'm not blocking. Very aggressive attack. Okay. Raptor and Stalker. Raptor and Steward. Oh, is that lethal? Yes. Tap down one of their blockers. 2 gets in. They only have 2 blockers for 3 other attacking creatures. That will do just fine. Okay, feel a little bit better now that we're sitting at 4 and 2. Like if I could, there's an arena open, I guess when this gets uploaded it'll probably be after, but there's an arena open, and I was going to say I would take this deck for it. It's that good, I think. Ready? 4-2 on to game 7. Sure, good enough hand. I don't think I'm supposed to hold the lookout for triggering the Justiciar. I think we want to just play it out and start attacking. We draw one of our freaking retrofitters. Would be a lovely curve. Yeah, Mantis turn 3 is pretty nice. Hey, but look what we drew. I think here I'd rather have a 4/4 flyer than instead of making the Justiciar. Because if I made the Justiciar a 4/4, I wouldn't be able to attack that turn. Okay. I am fine with that trade. I gain 1 less life by not playing the Chrome Prowler on my turn, but I want to tap down their Mantis on theirs, I think. It's fine. That's fine. I'm happy trading the Prowler for the Punisher, or if they double block with Cultivate, I'm okay with that too, surprisingly. Yep. There we go. Land number 4 for Spellbomb plus immediate bounce, or for Immobilizer looks great. We've been fortunate they haven't had a removal spell, because if they ever killed the Retrofitter or the Lookout, we'd be way far behind. I mean, this game is still pretty close as is. Oh, God. That's super bad. It's 3 mana to kill something with that. If I go Spell Bomb, bounce my Glaws, we're not in the worst shape. So sadly, with the Cultivator, they will be able to play the My Glaws and immediately kill my Lookout, though. Okay, well, they didn't need it anyways. So kill the Flyer, hit me for 3. What's the best play here? I think it's Dose on My Glaws and attack for 2. I die to a lot of stuff, but I don't have other good plays. If I play out the Basilica Shepherd, I have to double block and lose the Shepherd anyways the following turn. I mean, I would get some mites, but... okay, that's fine. Yeah, Crescendo kills me, Titanic kills me. Yep, didn't matter. There was no way I was going to beat that. So a lot of land issues we had with this game, or with this deck. This deck was really freaking good, but sometimes the mana and the draws just don't line up. I think this deck was freaking amazing. Super low curve, 4 Justiciars, 2 Retrofitters, the Elesh Norn, a bunch of the best removal you can get in blue-white. That's too bad. Would have loved to see that deck trophy, but that's Magic, baby. You can't win them all. Even great decks like this can fail. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you back tomorrow for some more. Bye-bye.